Hey guys, Camford 15, joined by my Uncle Daryl. We're back with another NFL week, I guess, recap, but playoff recap, as we are finally done with the divisional round of the playoffs. Now we're getting to the NFC and AFC championship games, which we're only having three more games, and then the NFL season is sadly over. But I'll say this: Wild Card weekend was a lot better than this weekend, but obviously last night ended off in only a very hilarious fashion, but it is what it is. So starting off the first game of the divisional round, that was the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Kansas City Chiefs. This was actually a pretty interesting game that, went down to the wire until the Chiefs lately pulled away. But obviously the big thing that is definitely going to have a huge impact going into next week is, Patrick Mahomes suffers a high ankle sprain after getting rolled up on a tackle. I literally
Yep.
thought like, oh no, he's not playing no more because he can barely put pressure. Like when he was even handing the ball off, he was like gimping to the running back, and it was actually kind of messing it up. Messing the handoff off. I'm like, if you're gonna just run the ball, just run it in shotgun. Now, I don't like the whole runs from shotgun. I think that's stupid unless you're running read option right then and there. But for Patrick
And
Mahomes,
it's predictable. It's
yeah,
predictable, especially when you're in shotgun, because what you want to do is, you're looking at that mic, and if that mic follows the running back, then
well, they played
you got to
the
keep the football.
read
Excuse me.
option. Go ahead. Go ahead and
I'm
finish your
just
point.
saying, he has. There are options. There are times in which he would have to keep the football in read option, and with on that bad wheel, he couldn't really do much. So the only thing they could do was, off tackle left, off tackle right, maybe a little stretch. And you can tell when he was trying to run a stretch play, he was tough. It was tough for him to get to his spot just so he can release the football into the running back's hand. So it's going to be pretty interesting how they manage him the week. Now, if it is a truly high ankle
Oh, they
sprain,
confirmed it's a high ankle sprain.
oh, well, then you know how it goes. I mean, it's a 4 to 6 week foot recovery.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
he's gonna
I mean,
play on it.
he gonna have to because I don't think. Well, I don't think it's gonna matter anyway.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give you my prediction right now. I think the Bengals gonna beat him with or without Mahomes.
yeah, I agree too.
So
Um,
I guess we can
yeah,
get out the way.
yeah, yeah. This game was back and forth. Like I said, until the she started to pull away late. Now, what I thought was a pretty big, crucial point in this game, and I understand this was only the first half, but the Jaguars with Patrick Mahomes being out and everything, he ends up getting taken back to the locker room to just get that ankle retaped and everything. So they bring in what was his
Chad
name?
Henne.
Chad Henne.
Yeah.
And Jaguars punt the ball after a failed offensive drive. They pin them deep in their own end zone. And the Chiefs go on a 98-yard touchdown drive. I thought, honestly, even with the barring the fact that the Jaguars offense for a majority of that game in the second half didn't do really enough to put themselves in position to take the lead, I thought that was a crucial back-breaking drive for the defense of the Jaguars. Because if you stop
Mm-hmm.
them there and you take away a touchdown, or heck, even hold them to a field goal there, maybe the Jaguars come out of this game winning. But the fact that they let the backup quarterback didn't even get warmed up, 98-yard drive for a touchdown, that can't happen. And especially in the playoffs, if you're letting the backup quarterback do that in the divisional round game like that, you're gonna probably more than likely lose. And then
Well, let me say this
go ahead.
real quick, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I really don't. But Chad Henne is a more than capable quarterback coming off the bench. So
Yeah,
let's just give him a little bit of credit.
yeah,
It's not like you brought in a rookie or a second year player or even a third year player. Um, Chad Henne has been Mahomes' backup for a good little bit. Capable, coupled with the fact that again, you probably got one of the best play callers in the league in Andy Reid.
yeah.
So the Chad Henne is well coached. So it didn't really shock me that they went on that drive. It was pretty entertaining to see. but it didn't really shock me considering, Chad Henne's experience, Andy Reid's play calling, and the fact that the Jaguars probably didn't plan on Chad Henne doing anything in this game.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it shocked me.
Yeah. Second half happens, or it gets started. Patrick Mahomes come back. He plays on a bum ankle, and I was like, this guy can't even freaking. He can't do nothing. I'm like, gee, I was even cringing like when he would just even step him in the pocket and he's like even throwing off just jumping, just doing a little hop jump on that bad end. I'm like, I don't know if you should do that. You're gonna make it worse. And yes, the Jaguars defense ended up getting stops. Now there was one crucial drive where Kansas City went down the field and scored a touchdown, which pretty much clinched in the game right then and there. But throughout that entire second half, Jacksonville was actually getting some stops there. The only problem was the offensive side of the ball was a shell of itself. And Trevor Lawrence didn't look really particularly good in this game. He was missing wide open guys. Really, I thought it was just a bad performance by Trevor Lawrence in this game. Yeah. Again, some of the throws, they were like widely inaccurate. Like there was one throw he had, like I think it was Marvin Jones out in the flats. He just gives him a better ball at the first down catch right then and there on the third down. But he underthrows it like pretty severely. And yeah, the pressure did get to him. But even then, I still thought like Jacksonville could move the ball effectively. But that's kind of the thing when you play an inexperienced team, or that's when you play an experienced team in the playoffs compared to an inexperienced team. Albeit, I thought their defense did do a solid job. I still thought Travis Kelce just ate the defense alive. He had like a career high in playoff catches or playoff receptions this game. And there was just no answer for Travis Kelce.
I think he had 14 catches through 3 quarters or something of that nature. Almost
something like that.
And I mean, they were talking about, they were referencing NFL history on the game he was having. So I mean, and they couldn't do anything with him.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't care what adjustments they made at the halftime, and they still couldn't stop him. So, and it's good for the Chiefs because, I mean, really, without Kelce, I mean, the other receivers was just pretty pedestrian. Yeah. So
I thought Pacheco did pretty good. He had some really good runs, especially that one last clinching run.
No, he ran hard. I mean, that kid runs really hard.
Him.
I like him too. I like him too. And McKinnon was a nice little offset out of the backfield as well too. But it's just like, Smith Schuster, Sky Moore. I mean, those guys got to do they got to do their job on the outside, and they just did. They really couldn't cut it. They really couldn't cut it. I mean, Kelce was tearing them up. I mean, I don't even know what it's like to cover this guy. This guy was putting moves on safeties, linebackers, corners, and nobody could stop him one-on-one.
Yeah.
So
I think half of the receiver stuff is mostly because Patrick Mahomes is on a bum ankle, and he uses most of his mobility to get out of situations. Because we saw it early on in this game, he was using his mobility just to get the ball in places that only his receivers could catch the ball. But after they took that away, after he got hurt, really couldn't do it.
So it was all Kelce at that particular moment. I mean, because he had to have someone between the numbers because he couldn't get outside of them.
Yeah.
But that still goes into, how great Andy Reid is as a play caller. He knew that this guy could not get outside the numbers like he normally could. So he called plays just so he can open up things for Kelce between the numbers. And I mean, he struck gold again in another playoff. So, but Trevor Lawrence played horrible. I mean, granted, this is probably the biggest stage he's ever been on in his football career. And I think long-term he'll be fine. It's a learning experience for him, and we'll see where it goes. But I'm really not worried about the Jaguars long-term. I think they're going to really be, back 100% next season, ready to go. And the other teams in the NFC South better watch out because Jacksonville, it's looking like they can dominate that division for years.
Yeah, they definitely overachieved from what they were the last 2 years, which they did show a graphic on the broadcast. Like they were like 1-something in 2021, the year then they drafted Trevor Lawrence. Then they were 3-14 after that horrible Urban Meyer year, and then they just completely turned around. Again, we already made a mention. It's one of those teams where they were like literally the worst team in the NFL, and just like the Bengals, a year ago, they turned it around in 1 year.
Yep,
We're
turn
Bear
around.
fans.
And we were talking, and again, I have to keep saying it. There were those two teams that we started talking about at the beginning of the school year. Oh my goodness gracious! At the beginning of, I know I just left work, man. I'm sorry. At the beginning of the season, where those two teams, Detroit and Jaguars, Jacksonville, were the two teams that we had pinpointed the teams to watch this football season, and I think we hit it right on the head. And man, the Jaguars, they hit this. They hit a stride that I think only, it seems like, and I could be wrong, only the Bengals matched, with how they were playing late in the season. And they got started early with the playoffs. So they'll be back. Not really worried about them, not one bit.
Yeah. And again, we're Bear fans. We got the first pick in the draft. If things go right for us in the offseason, then the Bears potentially could be the next team that is a team that's one of the worst teams, maybe contending for a while for a playoff spot. Now, I wouldn't say go all the way to Super Bowl next year, but if they play really good and they exceed expectations, well, then I'll take it. But yeah, that's what we have there. Jacksonville, they're practically set up. They just got to build. If they got Calvin Ridley coming back next, this upcoming season,
Yep.
Along with the loaded weapons they got, they have to make a decision on Evan Ingram. You would have to imagine they're going to pay this guy to make sure he don't leave the building.
Man, they got to keep him. They got to keep him because Lawrence had a nice rapport with Ingram.
Yeah,
late. He had a nice.
That might.
Yeah, I was about to say you can't. And there was some great chemistry. And what I will say about Lawrence is that he's one heck of a teammate as well too. He pretty much congratulated every player going back into the tunnel after the loss. And not many cats would be willing to do that. And we'll probably talk about the adverse when we talk about go to Buffalo against Cincinnati. But I gotta admit, I'm really looking forward to I became a Trevor Lawrence fan this year, and I gotta admit that cat has got some stones, man. I really like watching him play.
Yeah, my probably two favorite AFC quarterbacks are probably him and Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
I just like
Joe Burrow too. I wasn't really a big fan of Burrow coming in. Even when they went to the Super Bowl last year, I wasn't really a big fan. But watching how he played this year, under some early adversity, and he really was not shaken, not one bit. So, and when they got rolling, he still was like, So I gotta admit, I'm a Joe Burrow fan too. So yeah, those two right there in the AFC. Yeah, I think they're gonna be duking it out for Mahomes better watch out because he better stay healthy, Jack, because them two coming to get him.
Yeah. The other Saturday game was the NFC divisional round, Giants at the Eagles, and this was just a bloodbath. Nothing really to talk about here. I went Giants this game as an upset, but I thought the Giants would at least put a little bit more of a fight than what I saw. But the Eagles just went straight up there, and they just showed them like it's just complete domination. The Giants had absolutely no answers over the Eagles, whether it was on offense or defense. They just had no answers for them.
And I had said if Hurts plays, they win, but I didn't think they were going to win like that.
Yeah,
I mean, they ran the ball, they passed the ball, they did everything. They did screens, wide receiver screens, they did tight end screens. No one could stop Dallas Goedert. Nobody could be stopped. So, Philadelphia showed why they're the best team in the league. And they're gonna be at home again. And the Giants, they just got steamrolled. They were out of it from that first drive.
Yeah,
Giants done on that first drive. And in fact, when they went up 14-0, and when I get the game here, man, it's like 3-4 o'clock in the morning. I'm just like, man, okay, I can't do this.
Yeah,
I can't do this. And at 14-0, I just knew that was it. And I rolled over to sleep. I just knew it. Woke up 38-7. So I was like, okay, good. I'm glad that the Giants didn't have a comeback. You know, so and then I just watched it on with my game pass the next day.
Yeah.
I'm glad I went to sleep on it, but I mean, the Eagles just steamrolled them. There was nothing the Giants could do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just more talent with the Eagles compared to the Giants.
Correct.
So
Correct.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Giants, again, just like the Jaguars, they overachieved. Bring in Brian Dable, overachieved more than definitely.
Yeah.
They'll have to make a decision on what they want to do with Daniel Jones. I guess I don't think they'll overpay him, but they'll give him a contract on what he's worth more than likely. He was solid for the next part. He was solid for them. I do think if they want him to be more successful, they're gonna have to give him more weapons on the outside. Even I don't know what their tight end situation is. I don't think their tight end situation is the best. And then they also have to make a big decision on what they want to do with Saquon Barkley. Now, reports are saying today, like the Giants offered him like a $12 million a year contract. Obviously it's probably multi-year contract, but $12 million, getting paid $12 million a year. He turned that down. Now he had an interview after the game saying, I don't really care about resetting the running back market. I'm like, that's a damn lie. You want to reset the running back market. Now, the question is, will the Giants be willing to pay him maybe more than their initial offer? I don't know, because the thing is, with running backs, you can find running back, whether it's in the draft or in free agency, and because really running backs, you can find a running back off the street, and just if you have a good run game, you can just plug him right in and they'll just do it right then and there. Now, Saquon Barkley is a great running back. The only thing I could see a team maybe being like, I'm not going to pay you that money, is his injury history the last few years. He already tore his ACL, and then even after then, he was in and out of the lineup a few times. And I thought he had a great year.
Various ankle injuries too.
Yeah. I thought he had a great year this year, but again, it's going to be up to these teams who's willing to overpay him. Or I wouldn't say overpay him, but pay him that money he obviously you would think is worth. But with the fact that the running back market isn't as good as it was, like, say, early NFL, like 1990s, early 2000s, it's passing league. Yeah, that would we're Bear fans. Would it be nice to have Saquon? But I got to see, what are we offering him? If we're offering him like more than the $12 million that the Giants offer them, then I'm like, okay, you better come up in here and you better be like Derrick Henry.
Even if we offer him 12,
yeah,
no, I'm not okay with that. I'm really not. I honestly think, if, like, for example, if the Kansas City Chiefs can find a guy like Pacheco,
yeah,
to do what he does, we can find somebody too.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't think that, just because the Bears have cap space, we ought to just go crazy signing anybody.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that's what Saquon is probably going to listen to the Bears to see what they would be willing to offer.
Yeah, or any of these other teams that might need a running back. He's definitely be hearing what the Giants might be offering, see, okay, what's the negotiations, what's going to be like. So that Saquon Barkley thing is going to be interesting. I would envision he's going to re-sign with the Giants because Dable is going to probably want him back on the team.
And no one's going to sign him for $12 million.
Yeah. That's
nobody.
That's why
he probably did what I'm sorry. He probably did this. Okay. Get the offer on the table. So he absolutely knows what his benchmark is. Okay, hey, my benchmark is 12 million. Can you do better than 12 million or no?
Yeah.
And then there's years too, guaranteed money. So we really don't know any of that. I mean, for all I know, the Giants could have probably just offered him, at 12 million, 5 years, 60 million, and 20 million of it is guaranteed, which, could be the norm with an oft injured running back, because over the last 2-3 years, that's what he is. That's why I say oft injured. So he's probably looking for a little bit higher in guarantees. That 12 million mark for the year is good, but I'm pretty sure he's interested in more guarantees.
Yeah, I also forgot to make a mention. Thank goodness Adam Schefter tweeted this out, this weekend. For the Jaguars, their key unrestricted free agents is their offensive tackle Juwan Taylor, Evan Ingram, Marvin Jones is an unrestricted free agent, defensive end Arden Key, defensive tackle Corey Peters, defensive tackle Adam Gotees, DE Dewan Smooth. That's a lot of defensive linemen, man.
Mm-hmm.
Tight end Chris Manhurt, cornerback Trey Herndon, safety Andrew Wingard, tight end Dan Arnold, and then obviously their backup CJ Beathard. For the Giants, some unrestricted free agents obviously are Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, Sterling Shepard is a free agent.
They'll let him go.
Defensive back Julian Love is a free agent. Wide receiver Darius Slayton is a wide receiver. Is gone. Wide receiver Richie James is also a free agent. Offensive lineman John Feliciano. Offensive line Nick Gates. Cornerback Fabian Moreau, and then defensive end Ocean Hein Emes. Well,
with the Giants, their priority is going to be deciding what to do with the quarterback position before they do anything else with anybody else.
You would have to imagine they're going to look and see what this Lamar Jackson situation like.
Correct. So I think they're going to solidify that quarterback position first before they do anything with Saquon.
Yeah,
I mean, I would imagine if they bring Jones back in, Jones will probably be definitely the cheapest option.
Yeah,
I can't imagine Daniel Jones turning down, let's just say, $15 million a year. I can't say.
Of course.
If he turns that down, I mean, with his history, he's nuts.
Yeah,
he's absolutely nuts.
It's probably one of the few places he could get a guaranteed starting spot right there.
Correct. So I say, and I use the term very loosely, lowball him and see if he takes it. But he not getting.
Oh yeah,
he's not getting that real quarterback money.
Yeah,
and that's probably best for the Giants anyway, because they can use those funds that they otherwise would have used for Lamar Jackson for someone else. I personally don't think they should bring Saquon back. I personally think that they should just go ahead and look to see if they can get another back that can do some of the things he can do running back by committee like Kansas City do.
Yeah.
I mean, running back by committee like Jacksonville did. Even Detroit did Swift and Williams. Now, granted, Williams, was a little bit more successful in the red zone, but they still used running back by committee. I mean, Bears do it too. So everybody does it. The years and the history and what running backs used to be in the league, those days of giving a running back how Tennessee uses Derrick Henry, you don't see. Those days are over unless you got that special running back that you can do that with.
Yeah. The Sunday games that happened yesterday. First game, Bills versus Cincinnati Bengals. Man. Look, I thought this game would be close, but this game wasn't even close at all. Now, maybe we should have seen a forewarning for like just the little sliver we got on that Monday night game, because if you remember from that Monday night game, there was a part where the Bengals just went right down the field and scored an easy touchdown right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened all game. Joe Burrow was Joe Cool because it was actually freaking snowing up in there. Jamar Chase was like wide open. The defense got absolutely no pressure. Now, this is a Bengals offensive line that has 3 backup offensive linemen in the game, and absolutely no pressure was made by the defensive line of the Bills. Their coverages were all messed up and everything, to the fact, I guess there were so many busts, they didn't know what they were doing. You had Jamar Chase wide open. You had other receivers wide open. The tight end, Hayden Hurst, was wide open. Absolutely crazy. You switch over to the offense side of the ball, they can't get no run game going because that's Buffalo's thing. They never had a run game for like years. And Josh Allen, because, well, you make them one-dimensional, all you got to do is, rush to the passer, get to Josh Allen, make sure he's not doing much. Josh Allen didn't have a particularly good game, but the offense for the Bills absolutely did nothing. And it was just a smacking by the Bengals. And I tweeted after the game, Bills are the most disappointing team of this year. They had all the cards for them set up to win it all this year. They had the whole overtime rules changed for them. And they still go home in the divisional round. And guess what? They even get a home game. Another thing that they've been, saying, we got to get the home game. We got to get in Buffalo. And guess what? We'll take it to the Super Bowl. Albeit, the next game, if they won, this game would have been in a neutral site. But even then, you're still at home against a really good Bengals team. You should win that game. Nope, that doesn't happen. In your own elements. They're the most disappointing team. I saw that. I'm like, I don't know if these guys are ever going to make a Super Bowl. Now the Bills to me are the team is like, okay, if you want to talk about contenders, you can add them, but I have to see to believe before I see the Bills say, oh, they can go to the Super Bowl. I need to see the Bills in the Super Bowl before I have any word of saying that. Now, I don't know if they'll ever get to the Super Bowl under Josh Allen. Sean McDermott, based on what the Bills may do, I don't know if they'll fire him. I think if they're going to keep him, he's definitely going to be on the hot seat going into next year, because if he don't get the job done, he's going to be gone. So, and then, as I read off this, before my uncle talks about the game in his own opinion, here's some unrestricted free agents. Safety, Jordan Poyer, Tremaine Edmonds, guard Roger Saffold, which was another thing. The offensive line for the Bills cannot block whatsoever as well. Running back, Devin Singletary, punter Sam Martin, defensive tackle, Jordan Phillips, DN, Shaq Lawson, offensive lineman, David Quessenberry, offensive lineman, Greg Van Roten, and then AJ Klein. Half of that free agent list are guys on the defensive side, and those are key defensive guys for them. I don't know, and they're going to want that money. Especially Tremaine Edmonds. They lose him. Oh, that defense might be done.
We were going back and forth about Buffalo. I think you and I were talking and having a couple conversations off book about Buffalo. And I think you had made a mention about Josh Allen never getting a Super Bowl again. And I said,
after this loss, I said, I don't know if Josh Allen will ever be able to take the team to the Super Bowl.
Take the team to the Super Bowl. Okay. And I went straight to McDermott. I mean, it all falls at his feet. And this is the problem that I have when you have a defensive head coach and you are coaching a great quarterback. You guys have to be more in sync than, let's just say, if the coach was an offensive head coach. Look at the 4 coaches that are now playing next week. They're all offensive head coaches with great quarterbacks. I just personally think that, it's going to fall at McDermott's feet.
Yeah.
It really does. They don't run the ball enough. It's easy for them. They make themselves
they don't run. Sorry to interrupt, but they don't run the ball because they can't run the ball.
They don't run it enough. I mean, sometimes the threat of the run is more powerful than the running game itself. So if you're going to run Devin Singletary 6-7 times, that's crazy. That's crazy. And you got James Cook up in there. You're not running the football. Cincinnati knew it. They knew it. Why rush these guys? Why put 8 in the box? They're not going to run the football. And then on top of that, Josh Allen made some bad throws. He missed Diggs in the first quarter for a flat out touchdown in the first quarter. He missed so many passes. And we were talking before this game, and we were just like, he is not playing well enough to beat the Bengals.
Yeah.
And then when you got that kind of snow, those kind of elements, and you don't run the ball, you are in trouble. Cincinnati came up in there. They did what they always do. It was run the ball first. Joe Mixon left, Joe Mixon right, Joe Mixon up the middle. Buffalo, but man, I personally, you got to make sure it's McDermott.
Understandable.
McDermott was all the years that Buffalo has been succeeding with no Super Bowl. There's only been one constant: Sean McDermott. You can change your OC, you can change your defensive coordinator. I mean, your offensive coordinator and your assistant GM, they left too, and you still got the same result. Sean McDermott.
Yep.
Just Sean McDermott he's got to take the fall for everything that's going wrong in Buffalo.
Yeah.
And Buffalo, and they got steamrolled.
Yeah.
They got steamrolled. And when you got a gunslinger who just likes to throw the ball however he wants, and I mean, the defense was ready for it because they just don't run the football. Now, I wouldn't mind Devin Singletary coming to the Bears. He don't have a resume that'll warrant $12 million, and we can probably sign him on the low. I wouldn't mind Devin Singletary. I think he's a really capable running back.
Yeah.
Me personally.
Another big talking point. Everybody's on the broadcast. You saw Stephon Diggs. He was like, Josh Allen's just sitting there. Practically, the game's over, and he's just. I didn't watch the game at this point because I knew the game was over. But I guess Josh Allen didn't even see Stephon Diggs, and he missed him. And you just have it where Stephon Diggs, he's just throwing his arms up like, da, 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 like you didn't see me yet, you know. Then I guess there was a report saying that he left out of the locker room and forgot who it was that actually told him to come back and just, hey, let's just come back in the locker room. But
it was Duke Johnson. Duke Johnson got him. Duke Johnson got him back, got him in the locker room, and then shortly after they went in, he came right back out. So it was just like, again, I mean,
for him, I can understand being a little bit frustrated because it's like time and time again you have this team. You know, obviously the one thing synonymous with Stephon Diggs in his Bills career, obviously not only the great plays, but obviously the whole thing when the Bills lost in the championship game, and then he was just watching the entire Kansas City thing there. Which the memes were funny about that because they're like, and he still ain't done nothing. He still hasn't moved since then.
I mean, wide receivers, man. I mean, wide receivers. It's like, and don't get me wrong, Diggs is a great wide receiver, but history for me has shown you don't need a great wide receiver to go to a Super Bowl. You really don't. I mean, you need good wide receivers that's going to do their job and things of that nature. But them diva wideouts, I mean, just you don't need all of that. I mean, accept responsibility for how you played and move out and come back better next year. I mean, yes, it's frustrating, but all of that, those diva tendencies, man, that stuff is not needed. It's not helpful. So, but in the long run, man, Buffalo was everybody's pick to go to the Super Bowl. I don't know about
even after the Damar Hamlin situation. People are like, oh, yeah, that's going to be the team.
And that type of energy, too, but they didn't. But see it again, that's not Buffalo. Buffalo is a finesse, throw the ball everywhere football club, and they don't try to beat you up physically. And that's one thing they just did not do in this game. They needed to come in, use them elements, and Damar Hamlin being in the stands as motivation to beat Cincinnati up physically. And they just didn't do it because they don't call the plays to beat you up physically. And Cincinnati knew it. They played to Cincinnati's strength on defense.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting offseason for Buffalo, especially with all those free agents we just listed. Obviously, if the biggest
they're gonna let Devin Singletary go, they're gonna let him go because again, that's not their identity as a football club. And I say Bears, you may not sign them, but at least talk to him because I like Singletary. And then on top, when the Singletary played us, he killed us.
Yeah, because we didn't have a good run defense. You can stop the run.
Well, yeah. But, I mean, Cincinnati don't have a great run defense either. You never can tell because Buffalo don't run the football.
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely do think Buffalo, if out of, I think they'd have to look at bringing maybe a Shaq Lawson back. They definitely got to bring Tremaine Edmonds back. They let him walk for another team. Oh, their linebacking core is going to be not too good.
Yeah.
And he's going to be the next big linebacker that's going to get that money. He's going to want more than what Roquan got. And we as Bear fans thought, Roquan was all right, but he wasn't that dude. He wasn't like a Shaq Leonard and Fred Warner. The only thing he got going on is he leads the league in tackles.
Yeah.
So I think Edmonds, he's going to definitely command that record-setting linebacker deal.
He's got good. He's like what, 25 years old. He's still pretty young. So yeah, he's gonna command that money. I, it's just really it's really sad because Buffalo has a horrible playoff history, and here we go again. It's the same stuff. It's the same stuff. It's the same stuff. They prioritize the pass over the run, and they don't try to control the clock with the run. I mean, that's what playoff football is about. Time of possession. Keep the other team's quarterback on the sideline. I mean, they should have kept Burrow on the sideline freezing.
Yeah.
Getting numb over there in the cold. But
yeah. Want to start
their philosophy is, hey, we're gonna throw the ball, we're gonna throw it everywhere, we don't care what the elements are. And they make themselves one-dimensional. That's why they ain't winning.
Yeah, because their offense is just Josh Allen. This
it's just Josh Allen.
So
and when the playoffs roll around, oh yeah, they take away Diggs. They're like, okay, Diggs is your guy. No worries. You're not gonna kill us with Gabe Davis. You're not gonna kill us with your tight end, and he's pretty good, but you ain't killing us with nobody. And then what you should be doing is killing us with your running backs and your offensive line, especially in the playoffs. But
yeah, they don't establish that in the regular season. Don't make it happen.
Yeah. So. Devin Singletary should have been a 1,200-yard back, 1,500-yard back. To me, that's the kind of back he is. He could have been that kind of back, but no, they don't. They don't do that.
We're gonna make a new.
They'll probably end up losing Ken Dorsey, another OC.
Potentially, if he gets offered a high coaching job. I know he's taking interviews.
Well, he just took an interview for the Panthers.
Yeah.
So,
be interesting. Anyway,
but you got to get an offensive head coach. If you got, to me, in this day and age of offensive football, you got to have a head coach who is his niche is offensive football, not the defensive side.
Yeah, that's
my opinion.
That's kind of the thing there. And sadly, we're Bear fans, and we have a defensive-minded coach.
We got a defensive head coach, so think about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, but that's Pole's guy, right?
Pole's guy. Pole's guy. And not his draft. Another video, I get it. But another draft where we're going to see.
Yeah. All right, we're going to be back real quick to talk about the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, but
and then we'll give our championship prediction. So hold on a quick second, guys. All right, guys, we're back. We're here now to give our recap of the Cowboys versus 49er game. And this game was a trip, man. Dak Prescott, he was good last week, but he was bad this week. And hey, we say
he was good against a piss poor Tampa Bay defense.
Yep.
But now he has a real defense in front of him. And Brett Maher was still Brett Maher.
Well,
the only touchdown they scored, he missed the kick. Just 5 out of his last 6 extra points. It just got really bad.
Yeah, Dak Prescott he was horrible.
Dak was horrible.
Yeah, Dak Prescott.
For the Cowboy fans, did you feel for the Cowboy fans? Did you feel their pain?
No,
I didn't care less either.
I guess my dad said that I guess one of his coworkers went to the game, and he's a Cowboys fan.
Good. I'm glad he went. Good.
Good. Yeah, Dak Prescott, he was bad. In our predictions, we said Dak Prescott has to play a clean, free football game, and he has to at least make the play when the play needs to be made. And
mistake-free football.
His 2 interceptions were god awful. The first interception, I don't know what the heck he was thinking. The right receiver wasn't even open. He just let it go. The moment the cornerback turns around, he just runs up. Ball's right there. And then, albeit the second interception, they don't trust the kicker so much to kick a 50-yard field goal. They go from 4th down. Okay, they get it. They're in the red zone. He throws an interception to double coverage. If it wasn't Ward that would have not picked it up, it ended up being Warner. He threw in a double coverage, got intercepted. They were in the red zone. They could have at least got 3 points out of that drive. Because of that,
they didn't trust the kicker. They ain't trust the kicker at all. So that's why they were slinging the ball every which way.
Yeah.
They trusted Dak Prescott more than their kicker.
Yeah, and then also I think another element that changed the game was Tony Pollard coming down with his fibula injury, which he's gonna need surgery on. So sadly, that might actually hurt his money because he looked like he was gonna get a bag this off season, but the fact that now he's gonna be having an injury, well, teams might be like, we'll probably sign you on.
We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait and see those X-rays before, But again, that was another player the Bears are interested in, I'm sure.
And then I think Ryan Poles is out of the running now that he got the leg hurt and he needs surgery now.
Oh yeah, broken fibula. Nah, I don't think it was a clean break, but
it wasn't a clean break. It's like one that he can get surgery. He'll be out like 3 months, but even then, he'll be like, I don't know.
It wasn't a hairline fracture. It was a break, but it wasn't a clean break. So he's gonna be laid up for a while, and I don't think he's gonna get any contract looks until teams see physicals.
Yeah.
So
he went out the game and then. They had the backup running back. He barely even played. They trusted old, slow Zeke Elliott.
Yep.
Didn't do anything there. And that's kind of it. Although I thought the Cowboys defense did play good enough, the offense just didn't do much enough. That's the problem. And then
we talked about it. I mean, it's just like if the Cowboys can play mistake-free football, they will have a chance to win this game. Because Shanahan, he plays so well, and he puts Purdy in positions to win football games. Did Purdy turn the ball over? Nope. He didn't throw a touchdown, but he didn't turn the ball over. And that's what you do. You play mistake-free football. You run the ball, you stop the run. Quarterback don't make any mistakes. San Francisco did that.
Yeah. It's also hilarious that today the Dallas Cowboys Twitter page, they tweeted the fact that their own starting quarterback threw 2 crucial interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you got their own Twitter page roasting your own starting quarterback.
Yep.
Oh my. Maybe that's why Jerry Jones didn't want to pay Dak Prescott all this money. That's probably why. Jerry Jones might be a little bit smarter than we thought he was.
And now Jerry is, hell, I'm stuck with him now.
So that last play on whatever that was supposed to be.
I don't even know what the hell. And then you put Elliott at center. And he bull rushed.
And then the moment Dak Prescott gets rid of the ball, he was already tackled.
I think that play probably killed Kellen Moore's chances of getting a head coaching job. They're like, no, man, no.
If you have your running back being the center, bro, like they thought this was backyard football.
Bro, come on, come on. I mean, it's bad. He's just not he runs away from physical contact anyway in the playoffs, or historically he has done that, in my opinion.
Yeah,
to the point whereas he takes himself out of games and things of that nature. But to put him there, that was ridiculous. Why couldn't you just true center? It just didn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's crazy. There was one play Dak Prescott did throw, like it was a fade to what's his face? It was fade to CD Lamb, who'd had a pretty good game. I mean, he didn't throw it. He didn't get enough on the ball to throw it over his shoulder, because if he does that, then it would have been a touchdown for CD Lamb right then and there, because he was pretty much open right then and there, but CD Lamb had to stop right then and there. So Cowboys right now, you're typically your Cowboys self. You're stuck with Dak Prescott, who is, and we can all say, is just an average middle of the pack quarterback. That
we all thought that, but we never thought that Dak was Tom Brady-esque.
Yeah.
We never really thought that. I mean, Lamar Jackson, in my opinion, is better.
Yep.
Just
but do I feel that contract too? So
so is you can now, granted, I mean, by him being a quarterback who happens to be black, I I love to see him succeed, but unfortunately, he hasn't because his skill set and
He's limited.
He's got a team.
Yeah.
He's got a wide receiving core. He's got a tight end. He had 2 running backs, solid offensive line, damn good defense. And look at what happened. Defense only gives up 19 points, and y'all can't come up with 20.
Yeah.
But I don't feel for the fans, man. It's funny when you think about it. Again, here we go. And the first person I turned on, man, I turned on Stephen A. Smith because I knew he was going to hit my switches. I knew it. I knew it. So, and Cowboy fans, they everywhere. You can't find any of them right now, but they're everywhere.
Yeah. Next year they'll find some way to say, "Oh, we're going to Super Bowl again."
Yeah, they're gonna say, "I have faith that we're gonna go to the Super Bowl." Okay, shoot.
Yeah.
I have faith we'll go to the Super Bowl. I can have it in my living room every year.
Yep. 49ers, I thought they played well. They played well enough to win, obviously. Offense got to be a little bit better. To give other than that, defense, they were just out. They just were great. I did like the one play, Fred Warner, where he was literally on the line, and then he had to run all the way back to cover CeeDee Lamb to break up that pass. That's absolutely crap. Now, I watched that. I'm like, now, Ro, come on. I liked you when you were here as a Bears uniform, but dude, can you do that? I don't know if you could do that.
But see, Fred is smart. Fred must have saw that right. He must have saw that right when he read coverage.
Yeah.
That CeeDee Lamb, that someone was either out of position on his side of the football, or he just saw something that just didn't really look right for him. Because I'm thinking he was set up to blitz.
No, I think it was they said it was a cover 2. They said it was a cover 2 on the broadcast. So they brought the linebackers up, and the linebackers were supposed to drop.
But in cover 2, he would have covered that if he was back. So again, he must have saw something there that allowed him to make that play. So that's Fred Warner. He's one of the smartest linebackers in the league. I thought he was blitzing. That's me.
That's just a fake out. Olsen said,
I thought he was. But for him to, so if he wasn't blitzing, then he probably saw that right off the bat. And he just wanted to get close to the line of scrimmage just so he can cover what CeeDee was trying to do. Because Dak Prescott had a love affair with him. 10 receptions, 117 yards, I think it was. I mean, he had a love affair with him. So, I mean, you can say that that's really the only receiver that he liked. Gallup wasn't doing anything. Schultz wasn't doing anything. I mean, Schultz would have been the one.
Yeah.
To keep guys like Warner in check.
Yeah.
I guess Dak didn't know that.
Nope. Credit to DeMeco Ryans. He's a great defensive coordinator. He more than likely will probably get a head coaching gig. He actually, fun fact, the broadcast said he turned down 2 interviews to just do with the game plan. I'm like, Jesus, okay, that's dedication right there.
Well, I mean, who are those 2 teams?
Yeah,
I mean,
they weren't gonna get good.
We know one of them was the Texans.
No, it was not the Texans.
There was the Texans. The Texans.
Well, I know he turned down the Texans, but they're saying leading up to this game. I think one was the Cardinals. I forgot what the other.
Down 2 more.
Yeah, he turned down 2 more to prepare for this Cowboys game. I know one team was the Cardinals, and I forgot what the other team was.
Well, again, and me personally, I'm just like, I'm not in this day and age, I'm not crazy about signing and having a defensive coordinator become a head coach.
Yeah.
I'm just not crazy about it. I mean, if you look at the defensive coordinators that's our head coaches right now, what are their teams doing? They lose miserably in the playoffs. Tampa Bay lost miserably. Here we go. Now, San Francisco, they rolling. But for me, they're rolling because of the great defense. That's right. But they rolling because you got a rookie quarterback who was drafted in the
5th round. Last pick of the draft.
5th round. And he's got an amazing play caller.
He was the last pick of the draft, so the 7th round.
Yep. Mr. Irrelevant.
Yep.
Takes an amazing play caller to be able to take this kid's abilities and turn it into your team don't lose a step. In fact, your team gets even better.
Yeah, this is a game that I think Trey Lance, he probably like, oh crap.
Yeah, yeah. Jimmy
Jimmy was already gone.
Yeah, Jimmy.
Trey Lance might be gone. He might be gone.
But let's go ahead and say, but I'm still that contingent that think everything we see with Brock Purdy is because of Shanahan, not any skills or abilities that Brock Purdy has.
Well, still, if you're getting the job done, you're winning ball games, you'll take it.
Well, that's true. But I just don't think Purdy is as great as everyone's jumping on now. I could be wrong. And he may prove me wrong, but I just don't see, I don't see Mahomes. I don't see Allen.
Yeah, I don't see it, but
I don't see those. I don't see that type of quarterback. I see that type of play caller. And now they got to go to Philly.
I still give him a good chance to win that game.
Okay. I won't. I'm picking Philly. I'm picking Philly.
Okay.
I think against at Philadelphia, he gonna come and he gonna show he again. I think Shanahan is gonna make sure that he's ready.
Yeah,
Shanahan's gonna make sure he's ready. Shanahan is a really good head football coach. Shanahan gonna make sure he's ready, but Philly is a different beast. If it was in San Francisco, you're like, okay, yeah. It's the love affair. The love affair is gonna continue. That love affair ain't gonna be around in Philly.
Yeah, we'll get to the predictions. So you taking Philly?
I'm sorry. Yeah, Philly.
Okay.
For sure.
I'm gonna go San Francisco this game.
Good for you. Good for you. You stay on that. Stay on that. Now I gotta admit, the NFL, the fans, they love Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
They love it. And I will say this. I don't get me wrong when I say this, but I was really hoping for an NFC championship game with two teams from the NFC East. I was really looking forward to that. To me, that had the markings of a great game. Now, this will probably be a great game too. But Philly rolling. The defense can take care of what they.
Oh yeah, I think that defensive line is going to give them fits.
Yeah, that defensive line is going to give Philadelphia some fits, or better yet, that entire defense will. Yeah. But I think that Philadelphia offense is still good enough to get 24 points.
Oh yeah, of course.
The question is San Francisco with Purdy, and they got 19.
Yep.
Against Cowboys at home.
Yeah.
Can they get, damn near 30 against Philadelphia on the road?
Yeah, we'll see. Obviously, the number one thing Cowboys did, they stopped the run. Albeit, San Francisco's run game, it did obviously get better as the game went on, especially late in the fourth quarter. I thought they ran the ball a lot.
But Pollard had.
No, I'm talking about the San Francisco 49ers.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Now Philadelphia, we were talking about that with Buffalo. Now San Francisco will attack you physically.
Yeah,
they will attack you physically.
Eagles don't have a good run defense, right?
Nah, it's good, but it's not.
Yeah,
San Francisco good. But with McCaffrey, Mitchell,
Samuel.
They're gonna attack you physically, and you can best believe that. So, and that's gonna be a big help to Purdy too. But Shanahan is the MVP of that team. But Hurts, and his crew, man.
Yeah, I think Hurts can't turn the ball over in this game either.
Well, he can't turn the ball over anyway against San Francisco.
Oh yeah.
You can't do that with San Francisco at all.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, Philly will run the football.
Yeah.
Now with added with Brown and Smith and Goddard, That's a tall order, especially if Philadelphia does run the football.
Yeah.
So I expect San Francisco to look at a lot of that Commanders game when the Commanders beat them.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, but
Pretty much then.
I just can't see Purdy. I just can't see it.
Dallas, we forgot to make a mention. Dallas's key unrestricted free agents this upcoming off season. Dalton Schultz, their tight end, is a free agent. Tony Pollard is a free agent. Safety Donovan Wilson is a free agent. Linebacker Leighton Vander Esch is a free agent.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Offensive guard, Connor McGovern is a free agent. Cornerback Anthony Brown is a free agent. Cooper Rush, the backup, is a free agent. Anthony Barr, the linebacker, is a free agent. Defensive end, Dante Fowler. Wide receiver, Noah Brown. Wide receiver, T.Y. Hilton. And then defensive tackle, Jonathan Hankins.
Wow. It's gonna be interesting because when you sign a quarterback to that crazy amount of money, I mean, that's why it's always best financially to get that Super Bowl and why that quarterback is on that rookie deal.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be really difficult to do with Dak making what, 38 million?
So maybe more.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's it. I don't know. I know the Bears, they may be looking at Dalton Schultz. I definitely do. They need some sort of tight end outside of Cole Kmet. That's solid.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, I like Kmet.
I like him. I'm not saying like Dalton Schultz can be the starter, but at least be another offset tight end for Fields. Because Ryan Griffin and Wesco ain't doing it for me.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So are we willing to probably, let's just say, come off of what? That kind of tight end money for a guy like Schultz?
Depends what he's asking for.
I would think with the year he had, I don't think he would want, low end money. So I just don't want to get into
15 mil a year.
How much?
15 mil a year.
Who?
Dalton Schultz.
No. No.
Then how much are you gonna extend Cole Kmet for?
Man, I was saying something like bring him in for $5
million. You can't be that cheap.
Bring Schultz in for 15 million. He ain't worth that.
Okay, how about 10 million?
Nope.
We're not 10 million?
In? No. No.
3 years, 10 mil.
Okay. That's 3.2, 3.3 a year. I could do that. I would even guarantee him the full 10 million.
Okay.
3 year, 10 million fully guaranteed. Yeah. That's good.
How much you extending Kmet for?
Well, he's in what? A year of his rookie deal.
He's gonna give me in the final year of his rookie deal, probably looking for extension this offseason.
Oh, well then I wouldn't extend him.
You want to extend Kmet? Okay.
No, because his contract is going to get inflated.
Okay. I'm just saying sign him now before the
next. It depends on what he wants.
Okay.
I mean, his resume does not warrant double-digit a year money.
They bring him back for like 10, maybe 12 million. I'm fine with that.
Is that a year or total?
A year.
Oh no. Kmet ain't worth no 10 million a year.
Okay.
No. And I know we both said that, hey, draft him and things of that nature, but he has not panned out.
He had a little bit of a breakout year this year.
And me personally, I don't want to get into the whole, well, we got 130 something million. Let's just go ahead and use it all. No, man, you got to spend that money wisely.
All right. I'm just saying, you can't just chump change these guys.
No, I'm not saying chump change them, But then again, don't be flying all off the handle talking about giving Dalton Schultz 15 million.
Hey, okay, how about Gesicki? Gesicki then.
Gesicki? No.
You want to pay Gesicki?
Not 10, not 15 million.
We're about to say this for our Bears video, man.
Yeah, no, not 15 million. Oh, yeah, that's gonna be a doozy. Just No.
I think Gesicki's a proven tight end.
He's a proven receiver at the tight end position. He's a proven pass catcher. The reason why the Dolphins didn't want him because the Dolphins wanted him to block, and he was just like, "Nah, I'm good."
Okay, all right. All right, how about this? One last one. Evan Ingram.
I will say that Cole Kmet will block.
Okay. How about Evan Ingram?
I like Ingram.
So you paying $15 million a year?
No.
You want to not Evan Ingram after his year?
You have to show that Evan Ingram is just not playing that well just to get a contract. And then once he do that Eddie Curry syndrome, lose all that weight, build your muscle up, and then next thing you know, you get that contract and fat again.
You're wild, man. You're wild.
I'm not trying to give my money away.
So how much would you sign Evan Ingram?
What's the going rate for an average tight end?
I don't want to know. Probably like 10 mil. 10 mil.
Okay,
the highest you can probably go.
You know what? Overthecap.com. I like to go there. But I like to look at
one more quick thing. Okay. I'm going Cincinnati Bengals. The reason why I don't believe with Mahomes on a high ankle sprain, I find it highly impossible for them to win. One, it's bad enough for him to hand the ball off. But remember, that's his right ankle, I believe. That's his plant foot. Oh, well, not his plant foot. That's his back foot.
That's right.
And obviously, a quarterback's going to need that back foot to put a lot of, strength on that ball when he throws it. And I don't know if we'll be able to put enough pressure within a week's time because high ankle sprains typically, they're supposed to be like a 4 to 5 week injury. You're supposed to stay off that. You're like on crutches practically. I don't know. And then with the fact that the Bengals, they have the Chiefs number. Doesn't matter if they're in Kansas City, Cincinnati, they just have their number. And I think, Joe Burrow, they've been on fire. They haven't lost a game since October. They've been on fire. I think they're just going to make things difficult for the Chiefs. I just feel like with
10 games in a row.
Yeah, I just feel like with Mahomes not being as explosive as he once was when he's fully healthy on his ankle sprain, then that's going to be an issue for them. I don't know how many points the Chiefs are going to put up, especially on a hobbled Patrick Mahomes, but I'm being generous. I'll give them 15 points. Maybe they could score 15 or 16 points. But I'll tell you one thing. Bengals on defense, they're going to freaking go press coverage across the board with their DBs, and they'll be sending blitzes. That's what I know they'll probably do.
Yeah, and I think they're probably going to treat Travis Kelce similar to the way teams treated, Justin Jefferson. Just cover him at all three levels and take him away from Mahomes being his first option. Honestly, if Mahomes were healthy, the Bengals going to win this game anyway.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in the long run, it's going to be the Bengals and the Eagles in the Super Bowl. Bengals are playing the best. The Bengals have been the best team in the league for the last 2 months. So there's no way, I honestly think. And plus, they've already beaten Kansas City anyway.
Yep.
And now they got to play Kansas City with their quarterback on a bad wheel. Not a good equation for a victory for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
Bengals win.
Yeah, that's practically it. I know we gave one off topic for a bit and talked about Chicago.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. I was like, I'm going with the Bengals anyway.
So yeah. Anyways, we'll be back next week for AFC and NFC championship. Recap, and then that will be it. We'll actually do our Super Bowl prediction on a separate video, just to be honest. I'd rather do that case, just go in depth with the Super Bowl than that case, and then we'll wait sometime in February for the Super Bowl, give our recap, and that will be it for NFL football and things like that, unless draft, and then obviously we'll have to give our Chicago Bears season review, but other than that, that's kind of it, and then we'll be awesome focusing more, trying to get on NBA content, which, really, NBA hasn't been interesting me. As a Clippers fan, I haven't been interested.
I will say that I have seen some really good games recently, so.
Only thing I saw from the NBA was Shannon Sharp acting like a fool.
I saw that game, but that jacked the Lakers. That really motivated the Lakers.
Oh
That
yeah,
was an actually good game.
Lakers
You know,
got Hachimura now. Traded
yeah.
him for nothing.
No,
They got Rui Hachimura.
Who?
3 second-round picks, and they traded away Kendrick Nunn. Nothing for that guy.
Wow. And Nunn was one of the reasons why they beat why they beat Memphis.
Nunn sucks.
He played well that game.
Yeah, but you look at his entire Lakers tenure.
But at the same time, though, it's another player who can't shoot. They traded a player.
Still, then that's a good move for them.
It's a good move, but the Lakers, they just traded away a player who can shoot for a player who's not really great from the perimeter. So
Kendrick Nunn couldn't even shoot when he was there. I watched most of the Laker games. He couldn't shoot.
Yeah, you out there. But at the same time, you also said I would give Cole Kmet more money than Travis Kelce.
Not more. I didn't say that. I didn't say I want to give Cole Kmet. How much
15 million? 15 million? That's what you said.
I said I'd pay Cole Kmet 10 mil. I said I'd give
you said somebody 15 million. And
Dalton Schultz or Evan Ingram.
Kelce makes $14 million a year.
Really? Okay.
Really? 14 million. Ain't no way in hell I'm giving Dalton Schultz more than Travis Kelce.
All right, then by that logic, then I'd pay Dalton Schultz 10 mil.
No. Gesicki makes 10 million.
Gesicki makes 10 million? I think Dalton Schultz can make 10 mil.
He's stealing. He's stealing.
All right. You don't think Evan Ingram can make?
Schultz makes 10 mil.
Hey, maybe you pay him maybe 12 mil? Maybe 13.
If they, honestly, based on what Jason has here on overthecap.com, then what I would probably say, yes, that does make some suitable sense. Because I would not give Dalton Schultz any more than Travis Kelce or Darren Waller, who makes 17.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'd pay Dalton. If the Bears want Dalton Schultz, I'd pay him maybe 12 mil. 3 years, 12 million. I'd take that.
Evan Ingram, 9 million. Huh.
No, he getting a pay raise.
Yeah, he getting a pay raise because he balled out for Jacksonville. But I think he's gonna stay in Jacksonville. I think they're gonna wise up and sign him.
That's based on if a team's willing to break the banks open for him.
Yeah.
So
Kyle Pitts 8. Oh my goodness gracious.
Well, we're gonna get out of here, guys. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like.
Tight ends make some crazy money and they ain't worth it.
Yeah. That's a NFL there for you.
Yeah, that's true.
So
all right, so next week we're going
next week, AFC and NFC championship game recap. And then probably sometime later that week, we'll probably give our or maybe the week before the Super Bowl, we'll give our Super Bowl prediction and everything, and then give our Super Bowl recap, and that'll be it for NFL stuff till draft, and then our eventual Chicago Bears season review video.
That'll be a doozy.
Yeah. But other than that, and then free agent stuff based on the weeks that happen in terms of free agent. But there's got to be a lot of news, and there got to be like big groundbreaking news for me to think on doing a free.
No, not a bye-week thing. I think it's probably something we can do. Maybe the top 10 free agents.
Yeah.
I don't know if we should do it before the draft or after the draft because I know
I'd rather do it when it's hot. So people just get our initial thoughts right then and there.
Most of your June 1 cuts. So I'll probably say we shouldn't do anything about that until after June 1. Because some of them may not actually be free agents.
That's true.
But
we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. We always do.
Obviously, there's gonna be that big trade or that big free agent move that happens that you just got to get on and you just got to talk about and everything. But yeah, that's kind of thing.
True.
NBA content, again, we'll give our best thoughts about NBA stuff after All-Star break, but I could care less about the NBA. I care more about the dang playoffs for the NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Warriors do play the Grizzlies tomorrow.
Oh, those guys. It's going to be an interesting matchup. I know those guys beef in real time.
Yeah, Dylan Brooks hates everybody. But
he called Shannon Sharp a pedestrian.
You don't know who Shannon Sharp is, man. But you notice he walked to that locker room. Shannon was like, hey, come say that right here. Come say that right here. But anyway, he apologized for it today on Undisputed, which I think was pretty cool of him. So
yeah,
for me, it's over.
And then what Skip did.
Yeah, it was so better than what Skip did. Skip was more worried. We are going to do the show. It's going to be very emotional. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, guys, we're MacGyver. Catch you guys next video. Till then, guys. See you guys later. Peace.